It's HPR, All Things Considered, and I'm Dave Lawrence. Today, welcoming back a guest we have had before. Been a few years too, but it's Matisyahu with us. You remember him, right? Jewish American, reggae, rapper, beatboxer, musician, king without a crown. Huge hit in Honolulu back in the day. Top 40 hit really across the United States. Another big one Day. Yep. Anyway, he's back January 25th and 26th at the Blue Note this time. And he's back on the show today. We're so grateful for it. Matisyahu, welcome back, my brother. Now, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, and I can understand you.
That's my brother right there. You were our guest a few different times, actually. I just remember you being so tall.
6'4".
Yeah, you're a big cat.
This time I'm bringing my son. I set up this show so that it would be during his school vacation.
Uh-huh.
I have a 13-year-old son who's really into surfing, so I'm going to take him, just the two of us.
Kristen from the Blue Note, Matis, she saw you in North Carolina. She said it was quite a scene backstage. Huge family affair.
If it was this last tour, I have my wife on the tour bus, and we have two babies. One is 4 and one is 2.
Mm-hmm.
They each have a bunk on the tour bus, and then I have my 3 older sons. So I think at that show I had my 13-year-old was there and my 17-year-old.
Can your kids speak Yiddish or Hebrew or both?
Well, none of us really fluently speak Yiddish or Hebrew. They've been in yeshiva and stuff, so we can understand a lot of words and prayers and stuff like that. But my oldest son is currently in Israel. He's 19.
One time there was this falafel stand here in Waikiki, and they were Israeli kids, and somehow the subject of knishes came up, and I brought that word up, knishes, which is the little pastry kind of thing that you can get often in New York, and she had never even heard of it, never heard the word, and I believe she had never heard blintz either, which is both of those are Yiddish words.
There is the deli culture. I think it comes from the Lower East Side, Katz's Deli. Those are the original delis, and the food comes from Eastern Europe. That's where the whole boiled pastrami, and I believe all that stuff came from Eastern Europe, and they combined that with the American culture, and they created this deli culture that's very American Jewish and also very Ashkenazi, meaning from Eastern Europe. In Israel, a lot of that Ashkenazi culture and that Jewish deli food culture has infiltrated to some extent, the Jewish cuisine there, but the majority of that cuisine comes from the Sephardic Jews that are from the Arab countries and Spain. That food is more like hummus and falafel and
Baba ganoush and tahini and
Baba
stuff.
ganoush, right. So it sounds like if you were at a falafel stand that was run by Israelis, there is a chance that they might not have any idea what a knish is. It's possible.
It blew my mind a little bit, but
yeah, I could tell. Yeah,
I figured it was definitely something to do with it being a Yiddish thing, and it's kind of funny thinking of that. You have a great story, your origin, which this band connects because they have a Jewish member or two. The early story in your life that has to do with inspiring you to get into this life of music that you're still on. It starts at a rock concert by a very famous New England band, and I'm sure you can pick up the story. You know who I'm talking about.
Fish, yeah. Well, I'd seen the Grateful Dead when I was a kid because my parents were Deadheads. And then I grew up listening to, as a kid, I'm thinking 12, 13, 14, I'm listening to Offspring and Green Day or Pearl Jam and Nirvana, and I'm listening to rap music, hip-hop music, Wu-Tang Clan and Tribe Called Quest and, all that music from that early 90s period. And then I went to Israel when I was 16 for a semester at a school there, an exchange type thing. I came home. I was pretty depressed. I started feeling this connection to being Jewish. I started feeling a connection with spirituality. I was sort of a hippie. I had dreads, and I was listening to a lot of Bob Marley and a lot of reggae music. I felt the connection between the Old Testament references and reggae. That comes from the Torah, from the Judaism. So that was something that drew me in. But I met up with my friend from Israel, who was my best friend. He was going to be in Boston, and Fish was playing at the Centrum in Worcester. Yeah, man, I went to that show with him. We took LSD, and that musical experience that night, it really changed everything for me. it really made me just decide in that moment that I was going to be involved in music and that I was deeply, deeply connected to music. Even though I didn't know what it would be, I didn't play an instrument, I wasn't a guitar player, but I just knew at that point that that was going to be like the lifelong quest for me.
And you would end up performing with them at what seems like a big, important standout moment along the way?
Yeah, I mean, then I dropped out of high school and I went on a fish tour and I like hitchhiked around the country with quarters in my pocket, like trying to get into shows and stuff, and dumpster diving and sleeping in the parking lots in cars. I did that for like maybe 3 or 4 months my senior year. And then 4 years later, something like that, I find myself on stage with Trey singing No Woman, No Cry to 50,000 people. It was pretty surreal.
That was at Bonnaroo, that story. Before we depart the Fish one, are they part of your life? Are any of those guys friends and in your life?
No, they're not. But what I do with Fish, and I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to be friends with those guys. I know them all. You know, I think I have one of their phone numbers maybe, and I'll text them from time to time. But we don't have much of a relationship at all. I go to tickets. I pay for tickets. I'm going to Fish Mexico this year. I spent like $10,000 on it. I'm bringing my father-in-law. I'm bringing my wife. The first thing I did when I met my wife was play Fish for her. She became a diehard Fish fan. Took our kids to Bethel this summer for 3 days up there. We went to Great Woods this year. We go to all the New Year's shows. I pay for the tickets. I mean, I don't think that any of the guys ever know that I'm there or that, not that they would care. I don't know. But yeah, it's like the thing from my youth that I don't want to change it. I just want to appreciate it in the same way that I always appreciated it. I don't ever want to be noticed. I just want to dance. I go to Fish shows and I dance, and I have a great time.
What an amazing organic thing. And just to back it up for a moment, so you just dropped 10 grand to go?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I'm pretty sure. I haven't been to Fish Mexico. I really want to go. We probably go to about 15 shows a year, I'd say.
That would be funny if they heard this major other artist doesn't even bother to check in and does it because you're a fan for all the right reasons. And the jam with them, you were jamming on a classic Bob Marley tune. One of the Marleys, thinking about yourself here, is Ziggy Marley. His wife is from Israel. And I was just curious if Ziggy is a friend at all or someone you know, or if you have a relationship with any of the Marleys.
No, not really. Me and Ziggy have never spoken, and we know that he is a supporter of Israel and of the Jewish people. His son was bar mitzvahed, and there was a big post about that. Like, if you watch the Bob Marley movie, you see Rita's wearing Star David around her neck the whole time. I've done a tour with Stephen Marley.
Oh, wow.
So we did like a co-build together. So, yeah, we were on tour together, so I got to hang out with him a bit.
Before we wrap it up with you, for you to have all these kids, one of them making the musical career and stuff, is there any kind of times when you feel like nervous to let go, or you're feeling like, wow, it's weird to be a father?
I mean, I have my oldest is 19, and then I have a 17, 13, 10, and then I have 4 and 2. So I've been a dad now for like 20 years. Like, I saw another dad of a 19-year-old at a Passover program. I was, like, walking with my 2-year-old. I hadn't seen him in, like, a bunch of years. And the guy's like, you're still exactly in the same situation. I'm like, yeah, man. And letting go, I mean, yeah, I had to learn how to let go with my first kid, you know, but at some point you realize that's part of everything.
His name's, you'll correct me, forgive me, Laivy Miller?
Yes, Laivy. It's spelled Laivy.
Laivy.
Pronounced Laivy.
Like the good old Grateful Dead song, Lazy River. Laivy Miller.
Yeah, Laivy Miller, Lazy River. That actually is pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Can I use that in a rap? Laivy Miller, Lazy River?
I would hope that you would, my brother. I'd feel so honored that you did. And I hope you feel a big old hug, a couple of them, some high fives.
Yeah, man, this was awesome. I appreciate it. I hope I'll see you if you're going to be around during the show.
Oh, man, totally. If you're really around and you wanted to stop by the studio.
All right, cool, yeah.
When you're in town.
Okay, cool. Let's set that up.
Be safe,
right,
my brother.
Have a good one.
You too. Aloha, Matis.
Aloha.
Every day I pray to get to know ya. Please wanna be close to you. Yes, I'm so hungry. You're like water for my soul when it gets thirsty. Without you, there's no know me or the air that I breathe. Sometimes the world is dark and I just can't see. With these demons around all around, they bring me down to negativity. But I believe, yes I believe, I said that I believe. I stand among the feet, one be brought down on one knee. I fight with all of my might to get these demons to flee. Hashem's rays, fire blaze, burn bright in I believe. Hashem's rays, fire blaze, burn bright in I believe. Out of darkness comes light, twilight and to the heights. Crown lights burning up, out to the twilight. So thank you to my God, now I finally got it right. And I fight with all of my heart and all of my soul and all of my mind. Stealing my love with a hole in a ceiling. I give myself to you from the essence of my being, and I sing to my God. Songs of love and healing, I want Matisyahu now. Time it starts a feeling. What's this feeling? My love with a hole in a ceiling. I give myself to you from the essence of my being, and I sing to my God. Songs of love and healing, I want Matisyahu now. Stripping away the layers and reveal your soul. You gotta give yourself up and then you become whole. You're a slave to yourself and them don't even know. Them want to live that fast life, but your brain moves slow. If you're trying to stay high, bound to stay low. You want God, but you can't deflate your ego. You're already there, then there's nowhere to go. Your cup's already full, then it's bound to overflow. If you're drowning in the waters and you can't stay afloat, ask Hashem for mercy. He'll throw you a rope. You're looking for help from God. Say he couldn't be found, searching up to the sky, looking beneath the ground like a king without his crown. You keep falling